up to the locks. I did a show with Job.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
Did a show with Job. Soon as I left the spot, pulled over by the cops. Them bitches found my Glock. They threw me in the box. 8 months tops, staring at the clock. Commissary stop, man, we caught a 5 drop. The nigga jaw gon' drop, the bitches draws gon' drop, and then the calls gon' drop. Hello, hello, hello. I ball too hard, they flap, whoa. And all these bitches got ass. How did they get it so fast? They have that in the past. I still smash in LA, they getting shot. Bitch, I know the dots. In my ear, we on the yacht. Yo, bitch, know where we dock. Hold up, I ain't from the know ya. But took you still a soldier. And rest in peace, the soldier. Cause he was real Magnolia, yeah. And I fuck these hoes if I don't doze off on that drink. If I do, bitch, you to blame. Gucci lane, we stank. It better be the only thing. Big bank, take Lil back, you know the game. All you bitches want your Carter, your Carter. The fireman and fire starter need water. All of your bitches, they poop. All of my bitches, they new. They got more bitches than you. All of these hoes in cahoots. But my bitch keep me in the loop. She blow me like I can't suit. My waters come out like a troop. Innocent box, not a oop. Enjoying my pen out your fruits. I'm in a pineapple coupe. Passing you up like you. Turn your head like a screw. Get that hoe a tip. Enough to buy a whip. Get that hoe some sip. She fall asleep, I dip. I'm rich, bitch. Money, rich. What's in that bag? 14 bricks. You got 14 bricks in that bag? Used to drive a Mozzie. Used to be locked up with the dude that stopped the shanty. Used to be in Holly Grove with dudes that cut their bodies. Told you got so many hoes, they call me John Dottie. To your bitch, I'm Mr. Biggs, my nigga Ron Osley. I'm kamikaze and you niggas Ronda Rousey. It's the world really rock. Trap it to the socks. OVO Jordan, the ones that have it drop. Wait for Carter pop the drop. It's the rock. Tell them bitches it's the rock. I'm throwing up the rock.
The greatest rapper ever. Shout out to him and all the awesome things that Lil Wayne has done. Lil Wayne did his first night at Club Zouk this past weekend. Shout out to him. He was looking amazing. The crowd was looking amazing. So big shouts out to him, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Miss Meccas Take live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time until 9 p.m. right here at the After Party Live. Thank you so much to everybody who rocked with me on last week and was checking out my video on YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody who just has been rocking with me, period. Man, y'all, I love whenever I say some shit and then I feel convicted because people come and make a lie out of me. So big shouts out to y'all. I appreciate the love. And I'm just, we just gonna keep pressing forward. Y'all, this week, I know all of the hating ass people in the world, they getting their belly full this week, okay? Because there's been a lot of shit that's been going on, and we're gonna do our very best within this time frame to get through all of it. I hope everybody had an awesome 420 weekend. Shout out to my homeboy Alton. He gonna post on Facebook talking about nobody wasn't celebrating 420 because they all snorting powder. But anyway, everybody ain't snorting powder, but I didn't do anything to really celebrate. I called my brother and I was like, hey, are y'all doing anything to celebrate 420? And my brother was like, sisters like that every day over here, okay? But anyway, I did get 2 cakes done. Shout out to the people that ordered cakes last minute, but I'm grateful I was able to get them done. It really wasn't how I wanted to spend my only off day because I went to work on Sunday instead of Monday. So I thought, had I not taken those cake orders, and then I fooled around and done the math and realized I really didn't make a big profit. I did make some big smiles, and I'm grateful that I was able to pull that off for people. But I came up with a new method, even though I'm really not into, I'm really not into making, like infused cakes. I feel like if you're going to infuse the cake with something, just enjoy whatever you want to infuse it with and then enjoy the cake. Like, it's such a waste, in my opinion. But, everybody got their thing that they want to do. Anyway, I got this beautiful, I'm going to post it on my Instagram. I have not had an opportunity to be still, but I'm going to post this picture on my Instagram of this pecan upside down cake that I did. This was the very first time that I did this cake. a lady walked up to me and asked me, can you do this? And y'all know the answer always going to be yes. And thank God, with just a lot of sitting down, whenever I'm doing something for the first time, even if I feel like I'm familiar with the process, because sometimes, and this is like a baker's code, like sometimes the mere title that they give a cake is going to tell you how the cake is going to be put together, but you still need to read the directions because it's essential. If I hadn't sat down and read all the directions, I wouldn't have known that I needed to put the baking pan on a cookie sheet lined with foil. And the reason why they tell you this is because you got brown sugar, butter, corn syrup, and or honey. I just did corn syrup because I already had corn syrup. They said in the recipe that you can use honey to enrich the flavor, but shout out to my grannies and my aunties and stuff, and also to my son's grandmother. Because my son's grandmother say, when she hear about people feeling like they got to go get all this feel like they got to go get all this fancy stuff, she'll say, bitch, learn how to cook. You don't need all that shit. A bitch that know how to cook and make that shit taste good with salt and pepper, okay? A little garlic powder, a little onion powder, but you're not just putting seasonings on there. You're putting love into it, right? You cooking and you want the people, you have a vision of the people enjoying it as you're making it. So that cake would have been all over the place and a mess to clean up had I not sat down. I know sometimes you just want to hit that button and jump to the recipe. But if you haven't ever done this recipe before, if you're just refreshing yourself, of course, just jump right to the recipe. But if you've never done this recipe before, don't just jump to the recipe, because that story that precedes the recipe is going to be essential to making sure you save time, you don't waste money, and you don't waste, what could potentially be a really great cake, even if it's your first time. And so how do I know this? Because I done screwed up some cakes because I thought I knew and I didn't know. So this particular cake, you put a lot of ooey gooey stuff in there, but for some reason, when that stuff, because it bubbles all over into the foil and the cookie sheet and all that. It does boil over to that, but the good news is my fat ass, I was eager to taste it because it just looked delicious. Caramel or caramel or however you say it is one of my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Why am I saying what am I? You know what I'm saying? Caramel is like one of my favorite toppings, if not my favorite. It's sometimes I want fudge, but it's usually, if I want fudge, it's because it's something chocolate underneath it. So anyway, the caramel, maybe I was saying, you know what I'm saying, because my son say that, and I enjoyed that with him. It was like, I said, you got to come taste this. This right here is the bomb. And I mean, I took my knife, it lifted up off the foil while it was hot. And I was so crazy. I'm like, let me get some ice cream right now. I feel like Mike Epps when he was telling Martin to grab that Pepsi. He told Michael Duncan to give Martin the Pepsi after they talked Martin into eating that rib on Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. I was like, let me get me some ice cream right now. So, of course, when you need the Bluebell to be hard, the shit is all soft. When you need it to be soft, the shit is hard. So I'm digging in the Bluebell, trying to hurry up and get some. But something interesting happened because even though it was good and caramely and gooey, just really good, just eating it like that, when I put it on top of the ice cream, it turned the sugary, because it's brown sugar in there too. And it seemed like it just took on a texture that was like, not one that was satisfying on top of ice cream. So while I was thinking I'd come up with the recipe for a nice little caramel, it's a reason why that's not the recipe, because that shit don't work on top of ice cream. But the cake was absolutely beautiful. Only 1.5 cups of pecans was what I dug about it, because some recipes call for a lot of pecans, and a lot of times that's the part that if I hadn't done something before, I would definitely reduce the pecans, because pecans, even though they're very oily, they make stuff dry if it's too many of them. So anyway, only 1.5 cups of pecans, and then you do like just a sour cream cake, something very simple, only 1.5 cups of flour. And another thing is very interesting, because I had my mixers out ready to mix this cake up with the mixers, and no mixers. 2 things that I have discovered. If you are a person that prefers a box cake and you want a really good box cake, don't sleep on Dolly Parton. Okay, them Dolly Parton Cakes, she actually have where you put butter in there. Some of the things that people had done throughout the years to kind of embellish cake mixes, because there's nothing wrong with using a cake mix as a base, but a cake mix needs to be just one of the ingredients. It can't just be the only one. And you know how that's going to look, and you know how it's going to last. But if you add some other essential things in there, some raw flour, vanilla, a little bit more sugar, an extra egg, milk instead of water. We never use water. I don't care what they say. Use milk. I don't care if you use apple juice or orange juice. You could use pineapple juice. Don't use water. They just don't use water. But anyway, the cake came out absolutely awesome. I can't wait to make one for myself and my family. Speaking of Dolly Parton, I don't know if I should say this, but I was thinking about earlier how I'm very grateful for all the shit that's going on in the world. Be very grateful for the shit that's going right. So I have to stop and remind myself of the things that are going right a lot. And today I was saying to myself, I'm very grateful to God for my breast. Speaking of Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton could have went the rest of my life and not told me that she got breast implants, because all my life, ever since I was a little girl, I always thought that Dolly Parton was just naturally like that. And I don't know if at some point she got implants, but I know that she came out and said that they weren't real, and it just kind of hurt my feelings. But throughout my life, and even right now, they always say that there used to be a saying back in the day, like when I was growing up, maybe not when I was growing up, but when I was a young adult, there used to be sayings that used to be like, if you have a man in your life and he hitting it right or he caressing you right, then your body gonna shape up right. Like for people that didn't really have much of a curve to their derriere, if they got a man that knew how to, hold them and knew particular positions to put them in, you could tell because they would start to fill out in those areas. And for me, I just want to say I'm grateful because I haven't had anybody to caress me, to massage me, to give me an order. But I'm thankful to God that even though for a while, my top has been heavy, in my opinion, for my body size, they haven't started sagging. It still will do what it is that I needed to do without it look aging. So I just thank God for that. And I take little clues like that to say that I believe that I still am somebody's wife because God preserved me. Like I was looking at my body, I was like, thank you, so even if you got to find something, you know what I'm saying? The best things in life are most definitely free. Make sure you compliment yourself. Make sure you strive to be your very best self and know that you did your very best. That's just what you got to do. But anyway, speaking of Lil Wayne and also energy and how you're supposed to feel about yourself, Lil Wayne posted on his X account, and he posted right after Coachella, and he said, I'm paraphrasing because I'm not looking at it, of course, but he said, something to the tune of, I'm often overlooked when big events like the Grammys or Coachella come around. I'm extremely humbled by these things and blah, blah, blah. A lot of times, I'm going to still leave a comment encouraging him just in case, but in the back of my mind, I'm always saying Lil Wayne is trolling because... And to all of the people that try to act like that they feel like Lil Wayne is somewhere crying about not being invited to Coachella with all them whack ass people when he could have fucking Coachella at his crib, So with that being said, as I have said with a lot of things that I've spoke on before, it's not necessarily what it is. Like if it's a skit or if Lil Wayne is trolling, just to get his name out there and just say, look, let me just throw these people a bone so that they can have, in this whole era. And I'm not going to say it's an era like it's something that I expect to last for a long time, but I will say absolutely I feel like in like the last 2 weeks, for sure, there has been a lot of evil in the streets. A lot of people doing a bunch of dumbass shit or people doing shit that's a little, there's a song that says, I believe it's by Fred Hammond, And I don't remember the name of the song, but I remember the lyrics, and I remember that Fred Hammond said in the song that he says he made him a little lower than the angels. So sometimes you're like just once removed, but anyway, I don't feel like that Lil Wayne is bothered by not going to these events. He spoke about how he's never at these types of events because he said he only started to go to some of these events when there were, little hints kind of thrown at him that he'd been maybe selected to do the Super Bowl. So when he went to almost said the guy's name, but he's the guy who had an all-white party, a guy named Michael, white guy. I think he's like into cryptocurrency or something like that. But anyway, I can't think of his name, but he was a dude that was like all hugged up with Lil Baby. Speaking of Lil Baby, shout out to Lil Baby. There was this chick that I believe she was going to Spelman. I don't want to say the wrong college, but I believe she was going to Spelman or one of the HBCUs, getting ready to graduate. She started, I believe, at 50 days before she graduated, and she did her freestyle or her rap. And shout out to Lil Baby, and I can't think of the other name, but just look up Lil Baby blesses this lady with a scholarship. Like Lil Baby got in the comments, everybody, I don't know if they call him Wham or what that was all about. I don't know enough about what that means, but they were saying Wham, tag Wham, and then Lil Baby got in the comments and said, Wham has been tagged, and he said, I got you. And other people were in there saying they was going to match it. And I just think that was absolutely beautiful. Shout out to that young lady for getting out there and just asking, because it takes a lot to ask. I'm one of those people that I don't like asking anybody for anything. Shout out to my awesome son and his awesome friends who always sponsor people for like crowdfunding and stuff like that. And he talked to me because I'm ready to move. I want to move where I want to move. I got a vision of family. My family has less and less been getting together. I want to have somewhere where I can be me, where I can host and I can do all the things that make me me. And, I think that it's essential to your health. I thank God for sustaining my health. I'm just grateful. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on, and I'm just grateful. So I actually have a spot fund. It's kind of like a GoFundMe, but it's a fundraiser just to help with my moving expenses. So if you'd like to donate or help with that, I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, shout out to all the people that gave. People gave anonymously. I have not touched any of it because I really want to at least get to 50% of my goal before I start the process again. I am not the type of person that is easily manipulated, but I do believe that I was scammed. So be very, very careful. For people that are seeking rental property, y'all, we working so much. A lot of times you have to do things online and you have to take people's word. So I was a little bit down about that because I'm not the type of person that scam people. If anything, like I said, I'm going underbid. But thank God, that he allows my recompense, even to this point in my life, to be to the value of what I gave. Even though I might not tangibly have it in my hand, I might have to rob Peter to pay Paul, but thank God I got access to Peter and Paul. That's a blessing. It's something that you shouldn't take for granted. For all the people out here that's doing all kinds of shit that keep them up at night, I don't care what the day ends like, and it don't always end like I wanted to end. Like last night, I was so damn tired. I'm like, kept asking myself, why did you do the math? Why didn't you just pick up the money and pretend like you hadn't spent no money to make this shit? And then it would have looked good. But that's another thing. You got to make sure that if you are a person who does any type of trading, and I don't care if you're going to a W-2 job, this just don't apply to people that are sole proprietors or people that, are in business for themselves. Even if you are going and giving of yourself to another person's business or to another company, make sure that you are making sure that your trading is profitable. nobody should walk away feeling like they lost or they've been cheated or it could have been better. Shout out to you, Montana, because that made me think about a post that I saw you put up, and it said, caught in the act, because podcasting is, I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said podcasting is not about being perfect, it's about showing up. And I can see, that perspective, but as far as I'm concerned, I work too hard and I want and I strive for perfection. So I want everybody to be on board with doing the very best that we can do every single time, because we don't never know who's watching. The whole ordeal should be to brand and package yourself in the very best way possible. I think that's the reason why people have stylists and they have hairdressers and they have equipment, and they work hard until they're able to establish and own better equipment, because the good shit is what's gonna sell. Anybody can do anything, and there is a big crowd of people in the entertainment industry that are podcasting, that are doing music, that's doing makeup, that's doing cakes. It's a lot of fucking people in the business that should not be there. And for those of us that feel like that this is what we were born to do, that we were called to do, then we have to protect it by bringing our A game every time, because you dare not want to be mixed up with them damn people that's doing it just because this is what they decided to do this month. This has been a journey that I have been on personally for almost 20 years. Ever since I heard myself on the mic, I felt like this was something that I was supposed to do. So I've spent a lot of years, even though, like I said, nothing is wasted, because every single thing that happened should have happened. But I do believe, as well as a lot of people that have been in positions where they ended up, just really getting fucked around and fucked out of time because, they didn't take good care of what they felt like that they were supposed to be doing. If that is your baby, if it is a part of you, no. I ain't never went out the house looking any kind of way, and I damn sure ain't gonna take my kids outside looking any kind of way. My kids gonna look better than me, but I'm gonna be looking good too. I'm gonna groom myself. You might see me with the same dress on 3 or 4 times, but every time you see it, it's gonna be clean as I can get it, as pressed as I can get it, and I'm gonna look the best that I can look, because I am someone who I feel like has something to say, and I want to set myself apart from the rest. I'm gonna show up as well, but I'm gonna show up doing my very best to be perfect. And just like when I go out to dinner and I order something, I expect for them to do their very best to get that shit like the picture. I'm going to expect for them to understand that if you thought enough of the steaks y'all over here selling, that you want to put $100 on it. And I'm not mad at you if you feel like it, because like I said last night about those cakes that I took, and I ended up seeing this post that this lady put up about how she don't even do cakes, because if she did, she wouldn't sell a cake less than $200. And like I said, I am not no monkey see, monkey do. I do what feels right to me. But I do know that had there been some things, even though I trust God and I believe God, that God is fully aware of every single thing that happens, and he's fully aware of when you are doing your best. And I do believe that's when he joined your program, when he see you doing your best, because if you're not doing your best, then he got people that's being fought like, man, people trying to kill people because they mad because they out here doing them. Bitches done bought themselves a one-way ticket to hell trying to do witchcraft and all that kind of shit because they was mad and jealous. It's real out here in the battlefield. Shout out to my homeboy, the Toothless Wonder. That's something that he say. It's real in the battlefield. It's real out here, man. And if you really out here in the mix, and it's a fight. It's not just a fight for what you're doing. It's a fight for your life. So as far as what was I talking about now? I was talking about Lil Wayne again, because I think that motherfuckers, I say to myself, Mecca, you don't want to be on here, you are a mother of grown professional children. So you don't need to be, but I am like that skit. that skit with I don't know who it was. Damn, I can't think of who it was, but it was some comedian. I think this was when Martin was doing, when Martin, towards the end, I think around the fifth season. I don't know if Martin went to fifth or sixth season, but whatever the last season was of Martin, and Martin started doing his talk show. And he had that one talk show on there where them parents was gangster and them kids was real smart, and them kids was up there talking about, we don't know what they're talking about. And I mean, my kids, they don't be like that. My kids down by law. But they do know that, hey, if I feel like some shit need to be said, I'm going to say it. They are going to say, well, mama, you didn't have to say that. Or maybe you should have done something a little different. But their journey hasn't been my journey. And my journey is still thriving, moving, and growing and learning every day. I am not opposed to change. I just honestly never really had anybody in my life who really was like trying to advise me in any way to be better. So I'm out here going for what I know, and God knows that I'm doing my very best. And when God decides, I feel like Tyrese, and when he decides that he want, something to change in my life, it's simply just going to change. So until that, I'm just going to be giving it everything that I got every single day, even right here, right now. But it's a bunch of fucking energy harvesting going on out here. And I think people need to be aware of that before you just jump into every pool and allow yourself to be rage baited, because you leave a little bit of yourself every single time that you interact with someone. I remember reading a passage in the Bible when the disciples were being sent out. And of course, I don't have it right in front of me, but those people that are familiar, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not familiar, then Bible Gateway is a very, very nice app. If you ever think of a scripture and you thinking, dang, I remember what it said, but I don't remember where it is. Just type it into Bible Gateway into the search engine. You can either do chapters and verses, or you can do key search words, and you can just type out what you remember, and 9 times out of 10, it'll take you right to the scripture. So there is a scripture, and it talks about when the disciples are going out. And I don't know if these were the disciples or if these were people that, different people that were going out on behalf of Paul. But like I said, the message was, when you go, take nothing with you, let the people that are there feed you. And then when you leave your peace, unless they don't show themselves worthy of your peace. And if they don't show themselves worthy of your peace, then shake the dust off your feet, meaning don't carry that negative energy with you. So with that being said, I have to be very, very careful, because I try my very best. Like I said, first of all, I feel like Wayne was trolling, because that's just not him. He don't, but I understand business has to be business. And shout out to Lil Wayne, because the main reason to me he's the best to ever do it is because he's still with us, and he has not been caught up in none of these other gimmicks and this bullshit that all these other people got to do to stay relevant. Call him irrelevant all you want. People got to mention him. They got to mention him if they ever had any kind of connection with him, any kind of, they got to mention him. They're going to do it because they understand what it do for them. And they understand that leaving that part of the story out is not going to give you the value that including him in the story is going to give you. So call him irrelevant or whatever you want to call him. But motherfuckers is still in interviews, mentioning him on some old 1999, 2002 shit. And it's still going viral. It's still going viral. Motherfuckers talking about what they did and what they thought in 2004, and it's 2026, and that's the only clip of their interview that goes viral. So I got to stop allowing myself to get emotional. I usually don't say anything, to people, because I feel like these are very low vibration people. A lot of times it be bots, because these people don't even have their real face up, burner accounts. And if you got your real face up there, why the fuck you gonna give your energy to somebody who ain't got the courage? You couldn't even fight them legally in a professional fight. A middleweight can't fight a heavyweight. It's against the rules of the game. So with that being said, you already beat them if you showing up as yourself. So fuck them. But as I say that, somebody might be able to go to my ex replies and see, I just had to get on a bitch the other day, because what the fuck you not gonna do is call Lil Wayne dumb, because ain't nothing dumb about him now. And I want people to stop mentioning when Lil Wayne say something, unless he's wishing them a happy birthday. Don't mention Nicki, don't mention Drake, don't mention Jay-Z. They don't have nothing to do with Lil Wayne. And Nicki Minaj, get these disrespectful motherfuckers out of Lil Wayne chat. Because I know the fuck you see them. They got your name as they goddamn tagline. Don't let them fucking come over there. Corral these motherfuckers. Let them come over there and disrespect Wayne. If you feel a certain type of way about some shit, then you come out and speak about it. But I'll be goddamn if you gonna bring your ass over there on Lil Wayne. You wouldn't even be fucking with Nicki like you do if it wasn't for Lil Wayne. Everybody done came out here and did what Nicki Minaj did. The only reason why she did it better is because she did it with Young Money. And none of these hoes ain't been able to go to Young Money either. That's just how much respect Wayne got for her. He ain't even done a song with these hoes. They popping #1 on the charts. Wayne usually always jump on up and coming shit. He love helping people out. Shout out to Flau'jae throwing up them fours. Louisiana State University, she was just drafted in WNBA. Lil Wayne shouted her out. He always helping people, and he helped her ass. Anybody who get around him, whether he humble himself and fall back or he step out like the motherfucking king of this shit he is, he helped every goddamn body, even the people that oppose him. He helped them motherfuckers, because we wouldn't even know them if they didn't come up against him. Get some fucking respect about you. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to give myself one interaction a month if somebody says something. But like I said, it's not even in defense of Dwayne. Oh, did I say Dwayne? I didn't even mean to say that. But shout out to Lil Wayne. I'm not even saying it to defend Lil Wayne, because he don't need anybody to defend him. The fact that you thought of some shit that included him, he already won. So with that being said, it's a lot of energy harvesting, people trying to get you, knock you off your square, get you to respond to them, because never in my life, motherfuckers that I don't care for tweet every damn day. Matter of fact, that's the only people y'all talk about is all the people I don't fuck with. But I ain't never, ever thought in my mind, just because I don't fuck with them or I know something I could say about them, that I just sit up and would use my precious time that I can't get back to type up some shit negative to try to put somebody down. Who the fuck are you? Where is your motherfucking work? Where is your work that outworks Lil Wayne? That's the only way we want to hear anything you got to say about what you think he done, could have done, or should have done, or whatever the case may be. When you and the people that y'all might think done got the same work in that he done got ain't even foolish enough to say it. They got more class and respect. So get some. Grow the fuck up. But anyway, what time is it? Because there's a lot of shit going on. I got 20 minutes. What I was going to talk about. So rest in peace to the 8 children that were killed. 7 of them by their father. 1 that was a cousin. There are several different versions of the story that's going around. The part about it that kind of stuck out to me and that seems to be consistent in a lot of the different stories, is that the fact that both of them decided to air out their grievances, do their prayers, and also talk about how they felt every single day on Facebook. Every time they was dealing with something, it was Facebook. It's a lot of people. I heard a lot of people in the background of the press conferences when, they announce and talk about what happened. But if all of them goddamn people is falling out and wailing and crying and in the middle of the floor because these people are gone, these children are gone, and these women are in the hospital fighting for their life, why was she on Facebook talking about her woes in her feelings about this crazy ass man who done told her if she ever try to leave, he gonna kill her? Why was she on Facebook with that? Everything she felt. Now, this part, like I said, was consistent in the stories that I've heard, and these have been verified posts that came from them. He got on Facebook with a prayer. He got on Facebook with taking his daughter to lunch a couple of days before it happened. He got on Facebook looking like a crazy motherfucker that wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole, because I'm yet to see a picture of the nigga looking sane. I'm looking for it. I ain't been able to find it. I'm not looking for it like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a way to get some Lil Wayne tickets and for work some tickets as high as giraffe pussy, but Lord be willing, we gonna be in the building. But anyway, yeah, man, it's like this dude is looking crazy, very crazy on all these pictures. And it's interesting that everything was documented on Facebook. It's interesting that him walking down the street was right up under a camera where they was able to see him and clock what time he was walking down the street. So for all of these people that want to call, Charleston White and all the other people, the rats and the people that be snitching, your Ring camera is the real snitch. That's what's catching every goddamn thing. Because that's the only way they'd be able to clock him and know what time he was on one end of the street and also what time he was on the other end of the street. Rest in peace to those children. And it's a lot of people, I don't know, I don't really care, that might not appreciate me saying this, but if this shit is really real, like, it's like a whole story being put in front of you and everybody is reacting. Maybe I'm not connected to these people. Maybe I'm not in the right threads or algorithm. But often when you hear about things like this happening, you don't necessarily see people like, if this had happened to somebody that I know the people in my neighborhood and my family, people that I grew up with, they post on Facebook all the time, just like this couple was doing. But you don't see that. You seen what they put before you on the camera. It's like, just like this shit with Ice Spice. It's like, what the fuck Ice Spice doing in McDonald's? And then when they said Hollywood, I knew it was some bullshit. Because the celebrities don't be in no damn Hollywood. Hollywood is where your hookers and drugs are. And the Lowe's Hotel, Highland, and Hollywood Boulevard, it's a tourist spot. Hollywood is where the people come to see all the fantabulous shit about LA. Do you know how hard it would be for a celebrity to walk up and down there? Somebody that everybody know. I walked up and down my hotel when I lived. When I went to LA and I stayed in LA, I stayed in Hollywood. My hotel was on Highland. A very, very nice hotel was right across the street. My hotel was nice too, but a nicer hotel was across the street. I believe it was the Lowe's Hotel. It was some famous name. It wasn't Virgin, but it was something like that. It was some shit you see on something else, some airplanes or something. It's that badass hotel with a bunch of fancy cars and stuff out front. And I'm pretty sure if you go into that hotel and you go and and you go in one of the nicer restaurants, you might see a celebrity, but a lot of times the celebrities are not hanging out where the tourists are. They know tourists ain't got no goddamn sense. So, there wouldn't be any kind of peace for them walking down a heavily populated area where people come from all over the world. And if you went to LA on vacation, then you're going for the pop culture. So why would somebody who would be attacked on the street? I remember when I went to LA, Drew Barrymore was filming her show in front of the Chinese theater. And I remember thinking to myself, this is really awesome, because the Lil Wayne concert was the night before. And I was like, oh, Drew Barrymore, she was the fire starter when she was a little girl in that movie where she could just look at some shit and start some fires. And so I was like, yeah. And that's another reason why I wanted to play that song, Magnolia, because Lil Wayne say, from the fireman to the fire starter, I need water. And so Drew Barrymore, she was out there looking really awesome too, because the sun is not gonna hide a damn thing. I don't care how good your makeup artist is. And the sun, for all of the stuff that Drew Barrymore has been through, she looked absolutely beautiful sitting up under the sun and doing her show outside. But everybody and their great granddaddy was all around that damn thing. She couldn't have moved. She couldn't have done anything. It just wasn't going to happen. So I don't know, interestingly, I think we should be paying more attention to not the fact that this random woman walked up and what stuck out to me in the whole Ice Spice thing? Not that a random woman walked up to her because she was at McDonald's with her white homegirl having a motherfucking hamburger. Like, that shit don't rock with me at all. I don't feel like that shit was real. But the part I want people to, because we go off the grid with Miss Meccas Take, the part I want people to pay more attention to than the fact that Ice Spice got into a slapping match with some random bitch and it wasn't no goddamn security there, and her goddamn white ass homegirl just started cleaning up like she work at motherfucking McDonald's. I want y'all to pay attention. And bitch, you can be sitting there. I'm not fucking with McDonald's. No way. I don't go to McDonald's. I don't like their food no more. The shit tastes like mush bullshit. When I was a little girl, one of my first jobs was at McDonald's. I started working at McDonald's when I was legal age to work. I worked at Ron's Chicken and Mama's Pizza when I was lying about my age. But when I first got 16 for real, I went and worked at McDonald's. And I will say this, back when we was wearing them blue uniforms, the shit was too legit to quit, okay? Because I seen it. I seen the beef, the chicken nuggets, we made salads, we made goddamn biscuits on Saturday mornings, because I used to be in high school, of course, so the mornings I worked were Saturday and Sunday mornings, and we was back there making real biscuits. Now, I don't know what the hell this bullshit is or who done took it over, but I don't need it. I thank God I don't have to eat no McDonald's, and I can't understand why Ice Spice would want to eat some McDonald's. But I want y'all to remember this. If you don't remember nothing else, no matter how this shit turn out, McDonald's is recording your ass eating a big motherfucking Big Mac and the clear audio of the whole goddamn conversation. So bitch, don't go to McDonald's talking about some shit you don't want recorded, because the whole goddamn conversation was very, very clear. And that was the shit that stuck out to me. But like I said, rest in peace to those children. If that really happened, they didn't deserve that. But I do think that we need to look at the fact that if a motherfucker is on Facebook talking about everything that's going on in their life, because I don't care what nobody say. Tina Turner in the movie was getting her ass whooped by Ike. She didn't even tell Jackie. And Jackie would have helped her. Jackie hated his ass. But Tina didn't tell nobody. She called her mama. She fucked up and called her mama, and that was the trial run. Because once she seen, that her mama was fucking Ike, and Ike bought her mama a house and all of that stuff, then she realized no matter what I done for this bitch, she gonna still be a bitch. Rest in peace to her, but she was a bitch to Anime. And, Tina Turner did videos talking about how she never, ever felt like she got her mom to love her. So unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? It was a hard situation that she made the best of, and everybody gonna have something hard you're gonna have to go through. I encourage you just to make the best of it, because if it's a part of your story, that's just what it's gonna be. But she learned her lesson, and I bet you if Tina Turner would have been having Facebook back in the time when she was dealing with Ike. Tina Turner would not be getting on Facebook knowing that Ike was crazy and he was going to put his foot in her ass, that she wouldn't get on Facebook. I'm so tired of this nigga slapping me around. I'm going to probably leave this nigga tonight. I'm finna be a free woman. I don't want to be with a man no more. When you got a crazy man that's done told you if you leave him, he's gonna take you up out of here, you don't put on Facebook what all your plans are. And that's the reason why the shit don't look or feel real to me. So don't allow yourself to get caught up in your emotions like I do. Like, I promise I wasn't gonna say nothing about nobody trying to say anything about Lil Wayne, but bitch, you're not finna call him dumb. And that was the button I let her or whoever it was push on me, because you're not finna call him dumb. You don't lost your motherfucking mind. I don't know what your problem is or what y'all feel like the Barbs feel like that he didn't do for Nicki, but I bet you the shit he did do for Nicki outweighs anything y'all feel like he didn't do. And y'all are not behind the scenes to know how this shit work or who's in control of who. You only know what the little people that are disposable, that are on the ground, have shown you. The narrative that the people that pop up out of nowhere and get one hit song and then all of a sudden that's who you're talking about their whole entire life every single day, dripping in diamonds and golds and ain't got no platinum album. That's who you listening to. Those are the people that are disposable. Lil Wayne is not in that category. So trust me, if you see Lil Wayne doing something, that shit is business and it's strategic. Ain't nothing simple about him. Looked like that they was going to get ready to, or they're trying to impeach Donald Trump. Now they didn't try to switch pages and start talking about something else. And I just want to tell people, man, if you are on this side of glory and you can hear my voice and you're alive and well, I understand that we need our mental breaks. We need our times where we can lash out. But don't get so consumed in what is being put in front of you that you put all of your energy into it. You have nothing left to give yourself, your children, the people that you love. Because I don't care what it is. It don't deserve that. Because if it deserved it, it wouldn't take it from you. So, like I say, I don't know what's going on. Like Lil Wayne said in that song, when he said, took a trip, went overseas and went to go see some beautiful shit. Came back with a whole different view of this shit. Watching them mob movies, the ones that are based on true stories, and also going to the mob museum, I have a whole different view of this shit. That's the reason why I can't talk about it like some people can talk about it, because I got to believe it first. And I don't 100% believe it. And I don't know what the shit is all about, but I don't 100% believe it. Shout out, like I said, to the After Party Live and all the awesome people that have come through here. Shout out to my homegirl, Ebby. We kicked it on Saturday. My homegirl, Instagram. Shout out to her for sending me flyers, all kinds of stuff that she feels like that I might rock with. It made a full circle because I was talking about Black Run last week on my show, and he put up a video that he was going to be a part of this event. Mr. Hit That. Mr. Hit That. Mr. Hit That, I believe that's how you pronounce it. But big shouts out to him. Me and my friend ended up Instagram, who had no idea that I even knew them or that I had mentioned him. I don't know, not that I know of. She ended up sending me a flyer because she find all the dope spots in Dallas, and she always will send me something to say, Mecca, this seems like this your vibe right here. She sent me something about the Greenhouse Lounge. It's in DeSoto off of Cockrell Hill. Y'all, shout out to Lucas McCain, because me and my friend got to 67 in Cockrell Hill, and guess what the hell was sitting at the 67 in Cockrell Hill? A goddamn Applebee's. So when I said Cockrell Hill, I think it might be Cockrell Hill. I think his mind defaulted to that when I ain't even know that damn Applebee's was there. So shout out to him. I sat there just looking at that Applebee's like, this is the Applebee's. I was thinking Cockrell Hill in 30. But anyway, I went to that Applebee's last night, the one at Westmoreland, Illinois. Big shouts out to the bartender. She is so funny. Y'all go through there and be a blessing to her. She also bartended at the Cockrell Hill and 67 location on Saturday nights. She is so awesome with glasses, an amazing bartender. She told me last night when I went in there, she said, because after I dropped off the cakes, I was supposed to meet my friend Christy for dinner. We ended up not being able to meet, and I ended up saying, well, I'm going to just take myself to go get something to eat. I know that Applebee's be having some nice specials. Y'all, I know for a fact on Monday nights, Applebee's got this thing called Crown and Down for $2.99. You can get Crown Royal, you can get Hennessy, anything $2.99. Don't go in there and get fucked up and fuck it up for everybody. But it's $2.99 drinks and beers. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to be mindful of your spending, but you still want to get out and enjoy yourself, you know, Applebee's got some nice little hookups for you. So shout out to Applebee's. Shout out to the bartender, because you know, when you go to the bar, they either take a credit card or they take your name. And I was trying to be incognito because I didn't want to make it seem like, you know, I didn't know how people remember me, if they remember me as a troublemaker or whatever. And she was like, what's your name? And I said, Meccas. She said, I thought that was you. She said, I ain't gonna tell you how I went and told my mama that you said I work for tips and not my lips. And my mama said, hey. So big shouts out to her, baby. She got a good tip for sharing that with me last night, because she said to me also, and reiterated the situation. She was just like, you were not wrong. I don't understand where all of that stuff went wrong. She was like, but anyway, it was just awesome talking to her. So big shouts out to her. I can't think of her name, but you'll know her if you go into the Applebee's at Illinois and Westmoreland. She wear glasses. I know she there on Monday nights or late night during the week. She is awesome. Make an awesome drink. She make that $2.99 worth it. But I ended up seeing that other Applebee's while we were on our way to the Greenhouse Lounge. Shout out to Mr. Hit That, because when I walked through the door, he just started talking crazy, talking about I needed to drop it like it's hot or something, or I need to bust a move since I was late. We were late, but it was awesome. We went in, blessed the establishment. They got food, they got infused drinks, a lot of greenery, a lot of awesome stuff. So big shouts out to them. I did get an opportunity to see Black Ron and chop it up with him a little bit, so that was really awesome. This weekend was amazing. I didn't do anything but bake cakes all day, for a very small return on Monday, but we're working all of that out. But on this weekend, on the 18th, I think it was really awesome. So shout out to Texas for taking shit and making it how we want to, because if July the 4th fall on a Monday, we celebrating that weekend. So shout out to everybody. Like I said, God bless you. I hope that you have an amazing rest of the week as we wrap up this month of April and, you know, get ready to go into May. Lord willing, I'll see you right here next week on the After Party Live at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And yeah, man, I think that's all. I love you so much, and I will see y'all next week. Good night.